Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing this fine Saturday morning? I do apologize again for not getting this to you last night. I ended up being on the road for a fair bit longer than I thought. So, gin and tonic time, and I didn't want to do it at 6 o'clock this morning when I got up because people would start judging me hard. So, it is 2 o'clock on a Saturday, so I don't feel too bad. Welcome to Zim Gin Tim, proudly sponsored by Small Town Stills. They've been along for the journey, and I appreciate their support going forward. So I'm going to pour myself a little gin and tonic. I hope you're all having a good day. I do know it's a rugby day, so I hope you are somewhere close to watch the rugby. We are off, I believe, for a braai later, and I'll tell you exactly where I am. But it's been a very interesting week this week. From Gorongosa, lots of driving this week, so lots of traveling through to the different places, and I think potentially it's going to happen more now, just because I feel like I'm kind of running out of time. I'm giving myself 5 months to carry on with this trip, so I'm quite interested to see how far I get. So cheers, guys. Happy Zim Gin Tim. So good. Just a reminder that the weekends are for having a little toot. But so left Gorongosa on Sunday and went up to the caves, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, the church group that you heard singing in one of the videos, they had a fatal accident. One of the kids, just after we left for a game drive on Saturday evening, one of them went for a swim, and the pool is quite deep and it's quite a sharp drop off. So we think he kind of slipped off the shallow end and then into the deep end and unfortunately drowned. So very easy reminder, or very sad reminder, how quick life can go. So make sure that you live it to its fullest. Make sure you tell the people you love regularly, just make sure you're living life to the fullest. There's no point in living a life that you're not happy with. Listen, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Life does get hard, but you persevere when you need to, and make sure that you enjoy the moments that you have with people. Very sad kind of note to leave Gorongosa on, but it was good. Listen, up to then it had been a very good week, chatting with everyone. Seeing what they're doing in the park, all the commercial farm properties to try and get off the donors, so getting away from donors funding and make it more sustainable. So they're planning to do some commercial farms in and around the parks. I know their coffee project is up and running already. Hopefully it all comes off for them. I know they're building a couple new lodges and stuff there. So hopefully as it goes, it gets bigger and better, and more people visit, and then hopefully they can get away from the donor funds and run a sustainable program out there. And then from there I went to the Kutsa Caves, which is an underground river system, or a river that runs underground in that particular area. Very cool, very smelly as well. They say it's best to come straight after the rains because that washes out a lot of the smell. But very cool little spot, very underdeveloped. I know Gorongosa, they were talking about trying to help them kind of manage that tourism side and bring in more people from the reserve onto that property and to check it out. And then from there, as I say, a bit of a bush camp there, and then from there I believe the idea was to go up from the caves up to Kaya, or to Mpingwi Lodges. But on my way up there, I saw a signpost to say, hey, Marumeo National Park, 164 kilometers. I was like, well, if I'm going 80. It take 2 hours roughly. About 5 hours later, I arrived in Maromeo town, and after communicating or trying to communicate with people, I was eventually sent to the police station, and from the police station I got a guy who spoke English, and he took me to the park's head or office there, and managed to make comms with the guys in the park, just to let them know I was coming. They were quite surprised. But yeah, then it was a 40k drive, but it probably took me 2 hours to get down there. So it was a very long day of driving. But yeah, I arrived, and as I put in that post, first ever drive-in visitor for that partnership and for that new program, which was pretty cool. A little bit sad I didn't get to spend more time there. It would have been nice to have gone up. The guy Darren is the project manager down there, and he's a pilot, so he actually has a plane there, and he said to go up in the air and travel around that area is pretty cool. So a little bit gutted I didn't do that, but hopefully if I go back in a year or so, it might be there, might be more operational. I say that because it was a very, like, they've got their tents up, they've built ablutions, they've got power, they've got hot water, but they're still opening up the park, which means they're still opening up the waterway so you can do the boating safaris, and they're still in negotiations to try and get helicopter rentals so you can do the flight over the delta, which eventually will be pretty cool. But yeah, I would have loved to have stayed there, but I did have my appointment in Tet to get to. So from Maromeo I drove. That was a long drive. It was probably about a 10-hour drive. No, it wasn't, I'm lying. It was about a 4-hour drive to Mpingwe, where I met Ant White, who runs a timber concession that's actually been taken over by Gorongosa as part of their sustainability program. But he's an ex-Zimbabwean or ex-Rhodesian. He's living out there with his wife. He's been there for about 30 years, and he is sustainably foresting or felling exotic trees, as we would call them overseas, but leadwoods, wild mango, just some beautiful, beautiful wood. And even some of the stuff that he's just picking up that's just wind damage and it's fallen over, he's picking up and milling. And some of the beautiful wood, live edge slabs that would just, it would go for hundreds of thousands of dollars over in the States or in the UK and stuff. And he is shipping over there, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it all goes back to the reforestation, not reforestation, but the forestation of his timber concession, which is pretty cool. A very kind of hand-built lodge there, but it's got your hot water, it's got electricity, it's got everything you need. Great stopover if you're going up through Kaya up into Malawi, or like I was doing, going from Kaya to Tet. But the idea was to go north from Mpingwe up into Kaya and then kind of do the back roads into Tet. But I met a traveller there who just said, listen, you're not going to get through that. So one of the bridges is washed away, and there was meant to be a ferry, but there is no ferry. So if you actually Google Maps it, it's just canoes, dugout canoes. So don't think I'm going to put the new truck on a couple of canoes to try and get it over the river. So they told me to go south, like down back towards Gorongosa, and then cut across. There's some dirt roads and backtracks, and then up into Tet on the N1. So I did that. That was a long day. It was about a 10-hour drive. Got in late on Wednesday night. Thursday morning went pretty much straight into the mechanics. Got them to whip the roof off, or the roof rack out, and redo it and reseal it. The guys in South Africa did do everything right. They installed it correctly. But for some reason the silicone had squeezed out. Maybe they didn't wait long enough, I don't know, but it was installed properly, but there was just still a leak. So they fixed that up, put it all back together, and yeah, so it hasn't rained, so I'm going to have to wait until it rains to see whether that's worked or not. But yeah, from there straight back, I did a little bit of shopping just to refill the fridge. Went back to the campsite, which is called Katama, I believe, right on the Zambezi. Saw a couple of photos. It was very, very cool. And then next morning headed out. One of my mates got hold of me to say that his dad was actually farming in the south of Malawi, and he is very knowledgeable in the parks and conservation areas in Malawi and would be a good contact to have. Excuse me. So I did also forget there was rugby today. So I said, why don't I just come down? I'll spend the weekend with you. I'll get all the I'll catch up with all the where to go and stuff in Malawi, and then I can watch the rugby with them today, and then tomorrow the plan is to head into Majeti National Park, spending probably 2 days there. Then I want to go across to the tea estates and Mujati, not Mujati, Mujanji, something like that. It's from where I am, it's to the west, to the west of me, and they're big tea estates and hiking and stuff like that. So go to Majeti, go to Majeti National Park, then go to the tea estates, and then from there go to Lwandi, which is up north from me, just south of the lake. And then from there sneak around to Monkey's Bay, and from Monkey Bay hit Lolongwe, and then from there start moving up north. But I have just been following the news, and Tanzania is in absolute chaos. They've just had elections, and apparently only one name appeared on the ballot sheet, so people are getting very up in arms. The opposition party was apparently suspended or banned from the election. So yeah, not many people happy. So there are big protests. So I'm trying to get hold of a few people to see whether it's still safe to head up there, if it's isolated around Dar es Salaam, or if it's chaos everywhere and just avoid it altogether. If I'm to avoid it altogether, I'm probably going to go into northern Zambia and see if I can sneak around that way. But I've got no real way to get from Zambia without going into Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda. So I'm a little bit up in the air at the moment. I don't really want to go and join a cause, so we will see what happens, and I'll keep you up to date as I go along. But yeah, it's been a week. Lots of traveling. I did come across, when I was going across the border on the Mozambican side, a tourist had left his phone, all his credit cards, and $100 at the border post. We'll try to get hold of him, but obviously the contact that we had for him was for his phone. So I've put him a Facebook message. His name is Edwin J from California. So if by any chance Edward Jones sees this, please get hold of me. And then yeah, just interesting. Borders are tough here in Africa. You got all these guys, we call them fixers, other people call them touts, who will come and help get you through the border post, and for a fee at the end of it. But just constantly hassled by guys like, hey, you need this, you need to do that, you need to do this. I've been very lucky. I can communicate with them through Shona, which is one of the Zimbabwean languages. I don't speak it well, but I can speak it. And just being able to communicate and laugh and joke and try and bring some humor to the situation is always useful when you're going through those borders. But yeah, it's been a long week on the road. I think I'm gonna, as I said in the beginning here, I'm probably gonna speed it up a little bit. So 2 days in each of these places, in each of the parks, to try and get through it. Not rush it, but just kind of move on. do the game drives, do what I need to do, and then move on. As I say, I've got a lot of ground to cover, so just try and get it all done. But yeah, so that's this week's gin and tonic time. A little bit of reflection on the trip. Roads have been very bad. I do feel sorry for my truck, because you get a little bit confident and you start getting excited and driving, and then all of a sudden there's a massive pothole that stretches across and there's no really way to avoid it. So you either jam on anchors and screech to a halt, or you hit it. And unfortunately there's been a couple of big hits. So but other than that, no, it's been fun. It's been hot the last couple of weeks. As I say, I'm sitting outside. Yeah, I'm in the shade. It's still about 40 degrees, so hoping for that wind to start changing and then the rains to come in, but we will see what happens. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a good weekend. I really hope all the rugby goes well, and these are my predictions, just for shits and giggles. Australia versus England. I want Australia to win. South Africa, Japan, I believe South Africa is going to win that. USA, Scotland should win that, but it'd be quite nice for the States to win. Who else is there? New Zealand, Ireland in USA, in Chicago, which I'm absolutely gutted I'm missing. I believe New Zealand will not let that happen again, so I believe New Zealand will win that one. Yeah, and I also believe the repechage for the World Cup is also taking place, starting next week, with Namibia, Belgium, Tonga, or Samoa, and one other are fighting it out for the last spot for the World Cup, which is pretty cool. Wish Namibia Rugby all the best for that one. But yeah, guys, thanks for following along. Again, still trying to push that 1,000 followers so I can do this live. It does save me just trying to do post editing. I don't do much of it anyway, but it is what it is. So please just share with your mates, get talking about it. Hopefully we can get to that 1,000 and we can do this live, and then you can interact. You can send me messages, you can send me comments and stuff like that, and I can answer them live. But yeah, thanks for following along, guys. Happy gin and tonic time. Happy Zim Gin time. Have a good weekend. Bye.